It's May 29th, 2021. Let's start the update with the raspberry. You can see the flowers have faded and they're not really pollinated that well. You can only see a few fruits forming here and there. Here's a few more flowers that's gonna open. Don't think these are gonna get pollinated either, because I haven't seen bees around. And here you can see these two canes. I don't think these two canes are gonna make it. Looks pretty dead to me. And at the base of the pot you can see some new raspberry plant forming. And over here's the asparagus. You can see the sprouts have gotten really big. These ones over here with the leaves, I think these are the purple variety ones. Asparagus is still sending out sprout. You can see here's a new sprout. Unfortunately it has dried up because I didn't water the plants enough. And here's the potato. You can see it has gotten a lot bigger. And here's the saffron. It's still dying back. And the mulberry leaves are looking a bit dry. I need to water them. And here's the grape. Doesn't seem like it's doing too much. The little tentacle things are not really holding on to the trellis I bought. Here's the rhubarb. You can see the seed pods have formed and they're slowly falling off. The rhubarb is also sending out some new leaves. And here's the blueberry. If you look closely, you can see berries forming, which is super good news. And here's another cluster of berries. And yeah, it's all over the plant, so we're gonna get plenty of blueberries this year. And in that ginger pot is flower growing. You can see this little guy is flowering. Not too sure what the name is. Gonna need to look it up. Green onion is still flowering. Here's the new flower. And the rosemary. Here's the lavender. The flowers are forming nicely, as you can see. You can see the purple color. It's already coming out. Here's the other rosemary. The bulb plants are still dying back. Here's more bulb plants, all dying back. The summer snowflake has started dying back as well. Striped squill, the crocus. Here's the glory of the snow. Here's the snowdrop. Here's the grape hyacinth. You can see the seed pods are forming, but these ones are infested with aphids, so not too sure about the quality of the seeds. Here's the grape hyacinth of another variety. A lot of seed pods. Here's the pineapple. The leaves are still sort of browning and yellowing. A little concerned, but looks like it's still sending out new leaves, so it should be fine. Here's a closer look at the leaf that got sunburned. It's sort of turning brown now. Over here's the peony. If you look closely, you can actually see some new growth from the base, which is what I really want to see. And here's another new growth forming. And here's the dahlia. It's growing very nicely. Thought it's not gonna make it this year, but it did. Even though the sprout earlier during the spring looks pretty sad. I'm not seeing any flowers yet. Hopefully we'll see some buds forming soon. Over here's the calla lily. Leaves are coming up nicely. Here I took another footage of the calla lily 2 days later, just to show you the flower buds. You can see this one is a flower forming, and over here is a few more. right here. And here's more flowers forming. I think there are at least 5 flowers. Now let's take a look at the backyard. Here are the hydrangea. The flowers are finally opening. And you can already see some colors on the petals. Looks kind of like a pink, purplish for now, but it's too early to tell. The color's gonna change when they open. And here's just a bunch more clusters. Here's another hydrangea plant. A lot of flowers this year, seems like. Here's the shooting star variety. The flowers are still forming. The lily of the valley are done flowering. You can see all the flowers have faded. The winter jewels are now sending out new leaves. Here you can see some of the new leaves that have opened. And here's a brand new leaf that just popped out. Here's more lily of the valley and dead flowers. And the serviceberry, you can see the berries are still around. Doesn't look like it's getting bigger. Here's the bright orange ones. The following indoor footages were all taken on the 31st. Here you can see the jade plants are sending out a lot of new growth. This is the finger succulent, also sending out a lot of new leaves. Here's another jade plant with lots of new growth. And the tiny zebra plant is actively growing. And here we have these frizzle sizzle. The leaves are getting a little etiolated, not enough sun recently. Here's the elephant bush with lots of new growth as well. Here's the other zebra plants. Some new leaves forming, but overall the leaves are turning red. Here's the cylindrical snake plant. You can see a new leaf forming. And the most exciting change from this week is the new growth from the sweetheart Hoya. So it's sending out the vine, you can see right here. It's gonna start growing and sending out more new leaves from the vine. Here's the pitcher plant, still sending out a lot of new leaves. Here's the one of the baby pitcher. I think it might be getting a little bigger, maybe not. And here's the pitcher that have opened a while ago. Still looking great. And also on some of the new leaves, I'm observing some droplet looking things. Not too sure what these are. You can see it's sort of all over the newer leaves. Here's another Hoya plant, a different variety of course. The new vines are getting super long, as you can see. Here's another vine, and a very exciting news from another Hoya plant is this new growth over here. You can see this tiny sprout coming out from between the leaves and the stems. It sort of looks like a flower, but might be too early to tell. We will see next week. The string of pearls are growing rapidly. The vines are getting longer and longer every week. The Venus flytrap leaves are all turning green now. It's no longer the dark red color. The mini oncidium flowers are looking good. They're getting bigger and darker. They're gonna probably open sometime this week. Even though this other mini oncidium is not flowering, you can see it's sending out a lot of big new growths, like this one over here. And speaking of new growth, the dendrobium is also sending out a lot of new growths. You can see right here is another one poking out, and here's yet another one. And the fiddle leaf fig is sending out another new leaf. You can see the sprout has opened. And the leaves that have opened a few weeks ago are getting very big. Lastly, we have the striped squill seed pods that I harvested. They're all dried up now, and the seeds are falling out from the seed pods. So I can store them away pretty soon.